first questions. I'll ask the first questions. So, can you guys tell us in summary what players can do in Fableborne?
I can get it.
Yeah.
Technically, it's like everything is around three main pillars. It's like build, rate, and socialize. And it's a mix of two different genres. I mean, builder gameplay and hack and slash RPG gameplay. And in our opinion, it's just a perfect mix where you can establish your base, unlock different buildings, upgrade it, design your own defense line, and establish your economy. And in raiding, you will have a fun and action part of the game where you will have a direct control like in the classic hack and slash RPG game with the dual sticks, with active abilities, and you can choose between different playstyle, which will be based on a different heroes, which we call an echo in our game.
Mm-hmm.
And you will fight with other players, with not directly with other players, with his pace. You will try to steal resources. You will try to steal gold, element stones, and so on. And the biggest part what is under development in our game, what was not previously tested, it's a social part, and I think it's like need to be a big pile in our game where you can collaborate with other players for some kind of activities. And of course, we will have a PvE events and PvE activity if you will prefer to collaborate with other players and attack an AI or bots or with some challengeable dungeons or something like this.
Yeah.
Cool, awesome.
Yeah, sorry, go on, Lucas.
No, that's really cool. So maybe we can do the next question from Rainy, and I'll just read it. And here we go. So I'm very curious about the competitive aspect of the game, which is mentioned quite often on the website. How are you ensuring a competitive environment where it's not the player with the most hours that wins? Maybe Christoph, you can answer that for us.
Yeah, sure, can do. So I think what we have to talk about is what we can provide is like a level playing field, right, where everybody has the same chance of winning. If you have more hours and if you played the game more, you obviously are more experienced, right? Which kind of directly goes into you being able to have a good strategy or being able to execute better on that strategy. So experience definitely helps, but we will make sure that with, for example, an MMR system that matches you against opponents of your skill level and your power level, so to speak, that your fights will always be fair, right? And that's kind of paramount when we talk about esports, when we talk about competition. The baseline is that everybody has the same chance to win, or nearly the same chance to win, right? There will always be small applications. And with things like tournaments, so this is for the regular ladder gameplay, but with things like tournaments, we might even like push it further where everybody has the exact same the exact same things or play pieces to build defenses and build their attack strategies, just to make sure that we're really talking about a level playing field. When we talk about like tournaments, we talk about like big prizes and stuff, so it has to be even. And that's the short answer is we will have an MMR system that will have tight restrictions, and then maybe further things with tournaments. So yeah.
Nice. That's very, very, I'm so glad to hear that because obviously if I'm on new players and then, I don't really have time to play a lot, or I don't really have like a really high skill to play, I still have a chance to win. Hopefully.
Yeah, should always
right?
You should always have the chance for sure.
Yeah.
And maybe just like a little thing I have to throw in, like these, like everything that we answer, like in game design is always very fluid, right? And we have to make sure that you guys know that this, like, little disclaimer, everything we say is still potentially subject to change. But yeah, we're fairly certain on a lot of things already. Sorry.
Amazing. Yeah, no. No, great. Yes. it's connected. The next question, actually coming from Omar Coming. The question is, because other player can take the resources, will there be a mechanic in place to ensure that higher level players do not bully the lower level player, such as they are taking minimal risk for easy rewards? I think this is good for Nikolay. You want to take that one?
Yes. As already Christoph mentioned before, matchmaking is a big part of the gameplay, and matchmaking is a big part of the game to provide a fair PvP experience. But we are talking about real people, right? And sometimes really powerful player could doing some kind of crazy stuff and so on. And sometimes by matchmaking or by some kind of excluding, or some players could abuse this mechanic. It was in my previous experience. You can meet a different players in your PvP experience, like too powerful or too weak or something else. In this case, we will provide additional gold defense, like soft currency defense system, which will prevent you to lose everything. Technically, it's not possible to remove all soft currency, all gold or element stones from your base. You will be protected from abusing, I'm pretty sure. But every time it's a risk, and we do not want to provide an experience where you do not afraid anything at all. Just playing, you don't feel a PvP pressure or something. And we need to find the right balance between take a risk to lose everything and absolutely casual gameplay. Our goal is some kind of mid-core competition where you feel comfortable. And matchmaking is a big part of this mechanic, just to provide a fair PvP.
No, I think that's a wonderful answer to that question, and I think it just goes back to the aspect of like accessibility. That's super important to us, and it just shows that even like as a new player that just starts with the game, maybe like 2 years in, you're not just getting completely wrecked.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that's really cool, because I think that's one of the biggest turning points for new players as well. And to be quite frank, like personal level, like I'm less intrigued to play games where I struggle to actually compete with, like the big people in the game at some point. So that's really important to us. Thank you for that. There's another accessibility question, more or less, and I think I will give that one in a second to Christoph. Let me just read it first. It comes from JACL, or Jackal from Wolfstau. And it reads, I love how free-to-play players have the chance to earn their NFT hero. Will free-to-play players have full access to all parts of the game for acquiring their NFT?
That's a good question. Thank you for that, Jackal. Yes. So the short answer is, again, for sure. And actually, we want everybody to experience the game before making purchases, in a way, right? Because when we will post our alpha gameplay, and when you will be able to play our alpha game, you won't be able to buy NFTs beforehand. So we want everybody to play the game and feel if they like it or not. And I think I do see it as a vote of confidence from our side that we are releasing a product before we are releasing NFTs, for sure. So like as you stated in the question, players will be able to get their NFTs and acquire their NFTs even if they don't pay into the game. Obviously, paying will make it faster or easier, but almost everybody will play the game, or the first couple of sessions will always be about just the gameplay. And we don't want anybody to bother with like big NFT topics if they come from a space where they don't know NFTs or don't know Web3 very well. Unlike everybody who's in here is probably very early, but there's a lot of people in the world that want to play the game and don't know about NFTs, and we don't want to bog the gameplay down with any additional information right at the beginning. But players will come into the game, they will play the first sessions, which may or may not include NFTs, and they won't know about it. But in the end, everybody will play the game, check it out, and then can make a purchase if they want to. So yes,
That's just to add a little bit on that. When we're saying that we are a game first studio, which is we keep saying it like a lot of times. We really do mean that we care about how the game experience, the player experience first before we push our NFT collections out there. I think the idea for us is to play the long term game, which is stick with a player, provide a really good reason why player want to stay, right? Not really just kind of like a pump and dump NFT projects, definitely. And blockchain here we see it as a added value rather than kind of like the focus of this whole project. But yeah, awesome. That's let's move on to the next questions, I guess. Another questions from Omar coming.
I
So
will
this
take
is
it.
like yes. Okay, because your resources can be taken and resources are needed for progressions. Is it true that saving your resources, a particularly expensive upgrade, could make you a juicy target? And are these sort of trade-offs and choices are what the games want you to make? Yeah, Nikolay, you say you want to take it. Please take
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I need to answer all questions from this guy. Thank you, Amar coming. And technically, yes. This is a balancing of taking risk, be ready for the rate, and ability to accumulate more in-game money. But as I mentioned before, we already developed a system which will prevent you to lose everything. And here are the several levels. I can share this information. It's already play tested in our prototypes, and it works well. Like a highest level of restriction to stall and or maybe lost everything, and amount of money what you can steal from the enemy, it's blocked by your player level progression. Another restriction is you can't steal more than 20% of soft currency what you store on your base, and but opponents store on your base. And another restriction is it's like it's limiting your storages in the same time, right? In this kind, like you will need to accumulate a lot of money just to purchase an upgrade or rare building or some kind of unique upgrade for the hero. But as I say, it will be prevented from the game mechanic to lost everything. And one more thing, in our prototypes, in our tests, some players trying to abuse the mechanic. They build a whole base with only gold mines on it. And for you know, guys, gold mines don't have any protection at all. It's just another mechanic which will motivate you as a player, return into the game regularly and collect your gold from the gold mine. If you don't do so, you just provide more resources to the raider. If you build gold mines only on your base without any defense line, without anything, you will become a juicy target for sure. And some players trying to abuse it. And every time when it happens, I was so happy when I'm in my in-game experience trying to find the perfect raid, trying to find like a perfect target. Every time when I find this player with gold mines only on it, and I know it's 100% drop from gold mines, I'm so happy in this case.
Yeah.
That's it.
I have a request. Like it's actually two requests. So the first one is like instead of like an island, if that happens, right? If a player just places gold mines on their island, can we just make it so the island changes to a huge like grilled chicken, and then we just send a push notification out? Hey, there's a new juicy target.
Rotating roasted chicken, right? Like what's more juicy than that?
Oh boy, I'm not
Yeah.
sure if we can do that. What's the second request?
Technically,
Yeah,
it's
second
possible.
request. Yeah.
That's a push notification.
Oh, the push notification. That's pushing it, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Awesome.
maybe just to add on to that, like in game design, we always look for tensions, for players to have choices that matter and that are interesting, right? And this is like one of these tensions that occur when players have to save up for an upgrade that they really want, and that makes them a big target, obviously. But the reward for that, when they get through this period because they have good defenses and they prepared well, then you can do that upgrade, and that feels very rewarding. And on the other side, you always have the tension that you could get raided and you could lose 20% of your stash or whatever. But yeah, and that's just a good thing to have in games. That's why games are fun, for sure.
Cool. Cool. Let's move on to the next question. And that one comes also from Jackal. And I'm reading it out. You described the game as a mix between Clash of Clans and Diablo. Will we see similar loot drops to Diablo when defeating bosses in PvE? And I mean lots and lots of loot, question mark.
I will take it. Hack and slash games or Diablo-like games, it's loot-centric games. Everything is around hero and equipment. And when you play a Diablo-like game, it's really a big fun. It's like a big part of an in-game experience when you receive from the loot something epic, rare and unique, and you will become so powerful. Maybe you will collect a set of items and you will become more and more powerful. In our game, heroes or echoes, it's a big part of the game, but it's not a hero-centric game, right? You have a base building process, you have your economy line, production chain, and so on. In this case, we will have a loot. We will have equipment items for heroes, because it's really fun inside of the gameplay when you destroy an enemy base or when you destroy a tower or kill a monster, something drop from it, right? And you just like a kid, you're looking for some kind of new sword, more powerful, something like this. It's really a big part of the hack and slash RPG game, and we will include it. But it's not the game will not push you to collect like the best stuff ever. It will be good to have it, but it's not be like everything. It's not 100% around the world. But in the same time, we have an idea and we are working on it to provide you a loot from dead bodies of heroes which will be defeated by your base. And when you turn off your device, you will become unavailable for matchmaking, right? Your base will become unavailable for raids from other players. If your defense line will be perfectly designed and so powerful and you defeat several players, when you come back to the game, you can collect gold from your gold mines and you can collect some items from graveyards, from gravestones of defeated heroes. And I think, in my opinion, it's some kind of fun. You will receive an hack and slash RPG loot through offline gameplay. And for me, as a player, it will be a good point just to have this feature inside of the game. Am I answered?
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's a really, really cool mechanic. Awesome. Maybe we can.
Cool.
Sorry, go ahead.
Now, okay, sorry. Yeah, no, I was going to say that it's time for the live questions. Now that we picked, now we answer all the picked questions from our community submissions. Now let's give a chance for the live questions. So if any of you guys have anything to ask, feel free to raise your hand and we will unmute your speaker.
And if you don't want to speak, you can also just drop it in, ask us anything on the channel itself, and just write your question there.
Yep. In the meantime, if we are waiting for these questions, maybe we can answering one more questions from the previous submissions, because we have so many awesome questions. I'll just pick one randomly and you guys feel free to answer them. We have questions from CB. What is the monetization model for Fableborne? Will you guys have ads or IAP like a common mobile games, or it's going to be just NFTs?
Oh, that's a good question. I can maybe talk a little bit about it. So we've not talked specifically about ads, though they are obviously an option. Probably just for non-spenders in that regard, but yeah, it's nothing we have considered yet, and it's something we can add later. But for now, we definitely want to sustain the product by first off taking it off the ground with like our initial investment, obviously, and potentially that means NFT sales eventual as well. But I guess the economy will be held up by different events as well, and market fees potentially. So these are smaller ways to where we want to sustain the economy for sure. But beyond that, I think ads are a good example of what we could do in the future. But to be quite frank, we've not really focused on monetization quite a lot yet, because we are, like Chola said, we're really focused on creating a good product first, and we know that monetization can and has to be added on and can be added on later on. But first off, we really have to have that fun core gameplay, and we are really a long way at it already, and we're really happy with what we got so far. Do you want to add something, Nikolay?
Yes, I want to add something. I want to say, technically, we can call this game like product or whatever, but in my opinion, we are working on experience. Firstly, what kind of experience you as a player could receive from this game? It's top one priority right now.
Yeah, I mean, definitely.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
What we can say is that there will be different. So what we are looking at is, everybody has different ideas on what and how they want to spend money and how they want to contribute to the game potentially, right? So there's different types of players that play our game, and we will be trying to have like a solution for anybody who wants to play and maybe pay or not pay, according to whatever they kind of want to do and whatever their play style is, so to speak. Yeah.
I think it's just important also to mention real quick that all those things are still work in progress.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Yeah.
The disclaimer still stands. Like everything is subject to change.
Everything is disclaimer. Yeah.
Warning,
but that's great.
construction
That's great.
site.
It's just that all those aspects, right? All those aspects, they feed into each other. So, for example, if we like work on a game mechanic, it will impact to some degree, for example, tokenomics, and then in return, it will impact like the overall monetization model. So all those things, they act together, and that's why it's so hard to give like a specific concrete answer to that, because we would not be honest if we just say, hey, that's how it will be, if we are still like creating all those experience around the gameplay loop that we already have, right?
Oh yeah, totally.
Yep.
All right. Since we didn't have any live questions yet, you guys are so shy. It's okay. Just raise your question, raise your hand, and we'll chat to say hi. But that's fine. We have another, maybe like we can pick one more questions from the list. That's okay. There's this one question from Sparksy. Does the attacking player have auto-attacking units that he set up for the battle, or for the battle as well as his player-controlled hero, or is it just his hero?
So yeah, I can start, and you can add on to that, Nikolay, maybe if you want to.
Yeah, sure.
So yes, for now it's only hero, but it's plural. So you might have multiple heroes, and you might have. So when we visualize the game, right, we look at an enemy that we want to attack, and then we go into some sort of planning phase where we have our heroes ready. We can choose the angle of attack through another mechanic called portals, and then we have to decide which hero to choose at what point at which time, and those things kind of make up the fun part of the attacking, as well as obviously the execution then. So once you've chosen, you can play those heroes, unlike like potentially other games, right? And that's where the action part comes into play. And these factors combined will be, I think, the fun part, where this tactical layer and this execution layer come together and create this really cool experience. At least this is how we experience it right now, and you can hopefully experience it very, very soon.
I hope so. Yeah, what I want to add, like you have several heroes, and all these heroes could participate in one raid. Technically, you can attack one base. It's a concept what we have right now, and the prototype what you're playing right now. And you can attack another player with all your heroes one by one. You're limited by number of heroes and by number of entrants. Every time when you choose an entrance point to attack an enemy base, you spoil this point and you can't choose it one more time in the same raid. And it's some kind of additional restriction just for if you will have a players with something like 20 heroes, right? It means it's absolutely you can defeat any base because you will have a lot of firepower and you will continue charge defense line and finally you will break it up. In this case, we will need to have these additional restrictions with an entrance point just to provide more fair gameplay. That's it.
Thanks, guys. That's appreciate that you're sharing everything. It's also like under transparency that we are still working on it, but we do want to share what we're working on with you guys. So really appreciate that. Maybe one more questions. What do you guys think?
Yeah,
Still
sure.
have time. Yeah, cool. All right. So will there be guilds or clans in Fableborne? Could you hint about any mechanic there maybe for such? If so, from Sparksy questions.
I can answer because I'm already
Okay.
partly answered it previously. A social part of the gameplay, especially for the multiplayer game, it's really important. And it's really hard to prototype it inside of the small team. I mean, social gameplay, but we have an ideas. I'm pretty sure it will be some kind of clan wars, clan events, and special systems to help you play together as a team against another team of players, or maybe against a PvE boss or something. Just because, in my opinion, as a game designer, it's really important for multiplayer game to provide this feeling of the shoulder from your mate and from your team.
I think that's really cool because those social features, they are super important for multiplayer games, right? They keep
Of course.
people interested, busy, and you could connect with people. And I think that's the amazing part nowadays with online games is that you can build relationships with people, for the better and for worse. But that's the cool aspect, and again, it goes back to like creating this experience that just transcends like what we've seen before with like games on mobile. Really cool. Thank you for that question.
Yes, thanks, Sparksy, for the questions. So, that was a lot of questions about game design. Actually, I'm sure we will have we have actually more questions in the list of the submissions. But we have a limited time here, and we do want to ask another type of questions to our game designers here.
Uh-oh.
No. No, but like last comment, I know I'm part of the team, but I'm actually really, really learning a lot from this. It's so cool to know that everyone here is also, as excited as we are to see Fableborne live. Now, let's cool down a little bit. We have a coffee chit chat. We have some questions, non-game design related, but it is very important and crucial for us to know. Okay, for both of you guys. So what are you guys binging right now? What games are you currently playing, or a favorite TV show that you can't miss out?
Oh, I was afraid that
Nikolay.
this would be
Sorry.
hard questions. Go ahead, Nikolay.
No, Nikolay, Christoph, any of you guys.
Okay, about what I'm
obviously.
playing right now. Actually, last 3 evenings I'm spent with my friends in Valheim. We just started again one more time. And if you're talking about social part one more time, it's really good feeling when you play with your mates. And actually, it's like a PvE only game. We don't play PvP in Valheim. It's so clunky. And it's when you build. Technically, we built a base together and raid dungeons and raid bosses in PvE. And in my opinion, it's really a good experience, and what I carefully will try to deliver into this project, into this game. Because in our game, I mean, because it's really good feelings. When you play with your friends, you're doing something together, I mean, building, and you can check out what you can check out the result of your hours inside of this game, and then you can challenge a powerful boss, right? And you can fight it, and you can defeat it, and can bring a trophy inside of your base and bring it like in a best place in your castle or something. It's really good feeling, and I absolutely want to bring this social collaboration feeling inside of Fableborne.
So are all the trophies of the slain bosses in your own room then? or do you put them up in the common room?
Yeah, technically we need to slay them several times because everyone wants this trophy on his wall.
How do you know that, Christoph? How do you know what's inside of Nikolay's room?
I don't know.
That's another question.
And if you're talking about TV show, right now I'm watching The Boys last season. It's disgusting and awesome in the same time. And I like this mix, and because technically I can't stop watching it, but now I need to wait a Friday for new episode, and I do not want to bring anything from The Boys into our game right now. Because like 18 plus game, it could be.
Oh, they have great heroes.
Yeah. They have heroes. They have base. Technically, they have a lot of things related to our game, but maybe pets or something with this awesome hamster killer from classified Russian laboratories. Could be interesting.
Could be very interesting. Yeah, who doesn't like I don't know what, like Homelander in our as our hero, right? Like that's gonna be like super epic. Christoph, what about you?
I recently got into, or I just started late on Elden Ring, so that's what I'm playing a lot of currently. And I'm watching a series called What We Do in the Shadows. It's like a mockumentary about vampires. It's a comedy, and it's good fun. It's kind of wholesome, but also a little bit gory as well. But the fun gore kind of part.
Seems like everyone here likes, a little bit of blood, a little bit of like slaying people's heads or something like that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, well.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. So then I have one question that I'm super interested in. Maybe you both can answer that for us as well. So when you were a child, what did you want to be when you grew up? Do you have any idea, like what you wanted to be when you were small?
I wanted to colonize other planets and discover the space. I still wanted, technically.
So Nikolay is our Elon Musk, okay?
Yeah.
So
we are gonna go to the moon together. Yes. The jargon. Go to the moon together.
I don't think I had like specific thoughts. I wanted to go to space as well, but I also wanted to be a race car driver and I don't know, different things. But in the end, I just wanted to play games, I think.
There you go. You have your dream come true, I guess.
Oh,
right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. That's very fun, guys. Thanks. Next questions. So, if you can choose a superpower, what would it be? Okay, Christoph.
Any superpower? Oh, sweet.
Any superpower.
Oh god, any superpower. This is like, this is way too many options. Let's see. What is that, Christoph? I think teleporting is like so fun, because it beats flying, definitely, right? But I guess it's not like invincibility or anything, right? That feels kind of boring. I think I want teleporting.
Teleporting.
Yeah. I'll go with teleporting.
So you won't ever gonna buy a plane ticket anymore, right? Just
correct.
Teleport like to Greece, to Dubai.
I would be terrified with teleporting, because what do you do if you are stuck in like a war suddenly naked? Like
no, you always teleport like 500 meters into the sky, and then while you fall down, you keep teleporting down to a safe space. That's the idea.
Very methodological.
I hope that there's no planes though. That would be bad.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, I can imagine that. What about you, Nikolay?
I don't know. actually, it's a lot of options what I want to choose, but let me stick with flying because it's fun and it's awesome.
Flying, so like birds or like plane flying.
Like hovering.
It depends. It depends. If because I'm a soft human body, or like I can't fly as a plane. As a physicist, I can say I will burn out in 5 seconds.
We
Like
just lose consciousness.
casually flying, it will be okay.
Slightly levitating.
But
Yeah,
Nikolay,
Slightly levitating. Yeah, that's a good one.
why don't you choose teleport? You could teleport to the moon for a second, maybe, and then back, maybe.
I'm not sure. It's a lot of risky stuff, especially you go without your clothes, right?
Oh,
And
just
at
for a
the same
second.
time, just for a second. No, I don't need to do so because I could teleport into the solid body or something partly in the wall or something. It's in my imagination. It's so bad. I mean, like in bad end from
okay.
teleporting feature. Of course, we
Yeah.
can discuss some restrictions. It's not possible to teleport inside of a solid body or something like. And we
That's just so creepy. I don't know, like you just go into someone else's, like struck them, and then they can, burst into pieces. It's just
Also
too
something
much.
we'll probably see in the boys season.
Yeah,
10 or something.
I was actually literally thinking about that right now, like crazy. All right. Yeah, that was fun, guys. Thanks a lot answering a lot of questions. Very important questions and even more important questions. In the end, maybe one last questions from us. What can Fableborne community expect in this near future? Before we wrap up.
We are in process of preparing the playable version, what we can share with the community. I'm not no promises about dates because I see a question in Ask Us Anything. What are the timelines for this game to be released? We have some kind of course, internal prediction, but it depends on the quality, right? And in this case, we need to be really careful.
Yeah, you can be sure that Lucas and Charlotte will share information as soon as they get available.
Yeah.
But for now, working on the alpha, and then I'm sure that there's more community events coming up. So yeah.
Yeah, I think in the next couple of weeks we'll update our roadmap to be a little bit more precise, and then you will see roughly what's going to be happening. But even that would be up to a disclaimer, I would say, because again, like it's more up to the quality, right? If you feel like we still need a little bit more time to polish the game for the playable build, it makes sense for us to take our time to make sure that it's a really good experience first and foremost, because it's really about the experience that we want to focus on. I would say like the game is already like in a kind of playable state right now, but there's still a lot of things that we want to add to the playable build before we want to really like push it out to everyone, so you can see for yourself. We'll keep you posted, and for the next couple of weeks, we will release a lot of additional content, so more focused on gameplay. Very likely very soon you will see more information about the echoes itself. So basically, how do the playable characters work? We're working on a preview for that right now, and we're working also on a small secret format that will unveil probably in the next 2 weeks. So stay tuned, and we'll also do some, of course, we'll do more AMAs in the future. That's just the first one, and we intend to have this as a ongoing format, talk about multiple topics and keep you posted. And I think that's the best way to share, our plans for the near future as well, in a more connectable format than just posting an announcement. We really want to connect closely with the community, with you all. So I think the AMA is a really good starting point for that. And we're super happy that you joined, all of you today, and super happy to share more information soon.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you for listening. And don't forget to follow our Twitter, Telegram, sign up to our website, and spread the word. Like ask your friend, your family to join our community. And then maybe Lucas, you can add also a little bit of quick community updates on the what we expect, what we can expect after this AMA.
Yeah, so we promised to give you XP and faction points as well as some whitelisting spots. I will work on that in the afternoon and distribute accordingly. And yeah, that should be it. It was really nice that you guys joined today, and hopefully we'll have the next AMA soon. And yeah, was a great experience, and we'll share the recording to everyone who was not able to attend today as well on our socials. So feel free to share that to your friends and family as well if you want.
Yeah, like I'll ask my mother and my father to join our Discord. Just the factions, like like compete with each other and stuff like that. Enough competition in our household, but anyway. All right. Yes, thank you everyone, and see you again in the next Team AMA. Bye bye.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye.